The wait is finally over. Luma AI just dropped their brand new image-to-video tool, Dream Machine. This is really exciting news, especially if you're like me and have been craving to get your hands on Sora for the past few months or so. Luma's offering a free plan with 30 free generations each month. So yeah, you can dive in and start creating without spending a dime, which I think is really sweet. But how does Dream Machine stack up against the other tools out there? I decided to put it to the test and share my honest thoughts with you. Spoiler alert, Dream Machine absolutely blew my mind. I'll show you why in just a second. And just to be clear, I am in no way affiliated with either Luma, Runway, or Haiper. I'm not getting paid a single dollar for making this video by anyone. This is just my assessment as a regular user. If you want to support me and my work, the best thing you can do is to subscribe. It really helps a lot with the algorithm. It would mean a lot to me. All right, enough of that. Let's get cracking. These tools all have prompt-to-video options. But from my own experience, image-to-video is what gives you the most control over the end product. So that's what we'll try out today. To get started, I'll jump over to Midjourney to generate some images. I'll create 3 different types to ensure we get a fair assessment of the final results. First up is a 3D render of a taco, because why not? Then we have this epic, cinematic shot of a lunar base. And finally, just to go with something more realistic, I cast Tom Cruise as Freddie Mercury. You're welcome, Tom. So now we have 3 different kinds of shots: an object, a landscape, and, I guess, a portrait. As I hinted at earlier, we'll be comparing Dream Machine to Runway and Haiper. There are, of course, plenty of other tools out there, but these are the ones that have worked best for me. Each has its own pros and cons and features like in-painting and all that. I'll use the pre-generated image together with a prompt, without tweaking it whatsoever. All right, let's start with the worst one, and in this case, it's Haiper. I used to think Haiper was a bit better than Runway, but this video is just all over the place. The lighting and colors are somewhat consistent, I guess. But yeah, there's a lot of weird, janky stuff happening, as you can tell. So, no, not a fan of this one at all. On to the next. This is what Runway gave us. And yeah, it's slightly less weird, but just barely. It looks like the taco shell turns into a salad leaf or something. The colors seem kind of washed out as well, which is something I've noticed happens a lot with Runway. But take a look at Dream Machine. Seriously, just look at it. I mean, the consistency here is crazy. Look at the corn, the beef, the motion. If I saw this in a commercial for Taco Bell or something, I wouldn't think twice. And yes, there's the tiniest bit of jank around the taco shell's edge as it rotates, but honestly, this is light years ahead of the other models. So for all things taco related, we have a clear winner. Let's move on to the lunar base. Third place in this example belongs to Runway. I think the parallax effect and the motion is pretty solid, but that pod to the right of the screen is expanding for some reason. Not very convincing. At first glance, I thought Haiper did a pretty solid job with this one. But look at that little guy. Where's he going? Generating video from an image is basically guesswork. These models can get a little too creative. Sometimes it works, most of the time it does not. Just like in the previous test, I think Dream Machine came out on top again. The motion might be a bit too quick and linear, but the consistency is definitely there. This shot is pretty dull, but then again, my prompt was fairly basic. It could probably use like some slight handheld camera shake or something. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for. Dream Machine didn't quite nail it this time. In fact, I think it was the worst of the bunch. Let me show you why. Yeah, so this is a prime example of that unwanted creativity I was talking about. Tom Cruise magically turning into Chris Evans. Is it funny? Perhaps. But is it useful? Not likely. Haiper did, well, arguably worse in some areas, but better in others. It was consistent with the face, but are those feathers? Is he getting riled up like an angry chicken? I don't know. In this example, with this type of shot and static camera movement, Runway actually outperformed the others. Keep in mind that this is Runway Gen 2, which has been around for a year now, and just a few short hours ago, they announced their brand new Gen 3 model. So with that being said, I'm really excited to see what Runway has in store for us in the near future. All right, folks, that's all for this time. If you want to see more examples of the Dream Machine in action, I posted a video just the other day. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button. It really helps this small channel grow. Thanks for watching.